Well, I don't know how long you've lived here. I've been here 8. And when I came in was prior when the lawsuit class action was getting started. And so I remember all of that going on, and I've paid close attention to it ever since because the last HOA I was in, I bought a property for $100,000, and 3 months later, our board passed a $25,000 special assessment. They gave us 3 months to pay $25,000, and it was horrendous. I had to actually organize the other owners, and we overthrew the board, recalled them, and we were able to rescind the $25,000. But that taught me to pay attention. When you're in an HOA, you got to pay attention because they have complete control over our money. There's no limit. All they have to do is pass a special assessment. So it's very important to always vote and always know what's going on in your community.
When you said they have the right to vote, do we have the right to vote on?
No.
We do not.
No. So if they decide to buy the amenities, it only requires a vote of the board to do that, a majority vote.
The board itself has to vote.
Yes. So there's 4 people right now that could make that decision for $11,000.
Okay, so there's Larry, and who are the others?
Lita, Jim, and Glenn Larson.
Who's Joe?
That's our current board.
Yeah, who's Joe?
Hi there.
Is he over there?
That's Jim.
Where's that Joe? What is he wearing?
Oh no, there's not. It's Jim, not Joe.
Jill.
Jim. Jim.
Jim.
Larry is a candidate. Jean's a candidate. Larry's the president of the board, and Jim is the vice president of the board. So they are currently on the board.
And Lita's on there.
And Lita and Glenn Larson are on the board, but they're not up for election until next year. So they got another whole year to serve.
Lita's the only one with the head of the crane on her head.
Yeah, she is. And she has endorsed Jane and I and Carl. Carl's the other candidate. So Lita has endorsed the 3 of us.
Who is the second? You and
Me, Jean, and Carl Warren, who's right over there. Jean Foster and Carl Warren is right over there. So I used to serve on a committee. I didn't like the fact that the committees were closed. I thought the residents should be able to come in to a committee meeting and so they could know what's going on. To me, it's important to have communication, especially in a community this large, because you have to know what's going on in your community.
it's very easy to miss it all.
It is. So if we need to do a better job of communicating with people, we also need to open up the committees because there's committee meetings every single month going on. And those committee meetings are really making the decisions and recommending them to the board to vote on.
Does the board have to be unanimous?
No, it has to be a majority of the board for any decision. So right now you got 4 people, so the majority. Now if there's a tie, I don't know what they're gonna do. Do you know what they would do in a tie? So I don't know, that's where I'm at. I don't like sitting down. I don't like sitting down talking to people, it drives me crazy.
So I have a question, when you're talking about communication. What was the thing that came out from Real Manage looking for volunteers to be communicators? See that? That came out last
To
volunteer your time for communications.
That's the communications committee.
The communications committee.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you want to sit on that committee, you have to put in an application.
So they were looking for committee. It looked like they were looking for people to actually write stuff. I mean, it'll be an all committees.
To join on the committee, to volunteer to serve on the committee.
I didn't read
Yeah,
that. Was being on
yeah.
the committee.
Yeah.
What's,
Go ahead, you're fine.
what's your position on the amenities?
Well, the problem is we don't have all the information to make a decision. We don't know what they can legally keep, what they legally have to turn over. We've had no appraisals done. We've done none of the research to make a decision. Obviously, I want us to have control of the amenities because it affects our property values. I moved here for the amenities. So if the amenities go away, Or if they get so high that I can't afford them, I have no choice but to move. That's my concern. But nothing has really been done to educate the community on the situation. Nothing at all.
Is it normal for the developer to turn them over
Yes.
without charge?
Yes, it is. And that's why we have a lawsuit. Because they were violating 720. And we won. So
But what does the 720 say about it?
says that they cannot make a profit off the amenities.
No, I mean, like, can they, if it's normal to turn them over and not charge the residents, does it say anything about charging?
Well, they did rule in 2018 that they do not have to transfer ownership to us, that they are commercial properties. So that is the last ruling. As far as I know, there's been talk about appealing that verdict, but I do not believe it's been filed yet. So that's where we're at right now. Hi.
Hi. So what would be your top priorities if you were in office?
Transparency and communication, because I feel like a lot of us don't know what's going on. And I think a lot of people, even on the committees, don't know what's going on.
How many HOA committees have you attended in the last year?
How many I served on?
No, attended, where the information is shared.
Every single one of them. I was on a committee for the last 2 years. So I've been at all of them. And I also served on the landscape committee while we chose our vendor. So I know exactly what went on with that. So that's where I'm getting my information. And it's a problem because we had, 8 people resign from the committee in the last year and a half because they don't like the way it's being run. They don't like being forced to sign NDAs to lie to their neighbors. It's a big problem.
What are your other priorities?
Excuse me?
What are your other priorities?
Well, we need to have open committees so that if I want to go into a committee and hear what's happening on that committee, or if I have questions for that committee, I should be able to go in and ask them. That way we don't have 5-hour board meetings every month. That's the reason why we have those. So that's a big problem. We have to figure out how we're going to start getting bids from our vendors, because one bid is open, one bid is blind. Things are happening that shouldn't be happening. We're overpaying for our services. We went from 6.5 million to 8.2, and we got less work coming. That's a problem. So if that is going to be handled,
You can fix that and fix the grocery store because we're half the same thing.
No, it's not. No, I'm saying we got bids for the contract. 3 months later, instead of 6.5, we chose a vendor for 8.2. That doesn't make sense.
And I'm sure there was reasons behind it.
I would love to hear them. I would love to be able to walk into a meeting and ask and get a straight answer. But that's not happening right now.
What do you think will be the biggest challenge if you were in office? It's really hard to know.
I don't think there would be any challenges. No, I don't think there would.
Okay.
I don't think there would. No.
Sorry, what is the question? What's the question?
She wanted to know what I would do if I came into office. Yeah, and she also asked what I thought the biggest challenges are that I'm facing.
Right.
And I don't
I
think.
read your answers before I came here.
Oh, good.
Yes, I did. I downloaded it.
Good. So, do you have any questions?
So you didn't the first question, 2 of them. Well, two of them didn't even have a question answers. But 2 of them mentioned that the transition is the most important thing.
I think
I
that.
don't know.
I think transparency and communication with the residents is the most important thing. Because how do you do a transition when the community has no input, has no idea what's going on? They have to be educated first.
So I was wondering, this is kind of, this is good, it's very general.
Yeah.
But how do you implement, how do you make this happen?
Well, first you open up the committees. First you have committees.
You already have lots of committees.
We don't have a committee that deals with the transfer of the amenities.
Okay.
We don't have a committee that deals with the Southport connector or the traffic issues outside our gates.
The HOA wants to stay away from it.
Yeah, and I don't understand that
I don't either.
because HOA board's primary job, their first job is to protect property values. So if you're a board member, that has to always be in your mind. Okay, amenities affect property values. Traffic outside your gates and a tollway affects property values. So you can't just not deal with something because you don't feel like dealing with it. That's how things deteriorate real quick. So that's where I think that, yeah, it is important. But you also have to have the support of your community. So if you're not communicating with the people in the community and they don't know what you're doing and you don't know what their opinion is, it doesn't work at all. See what I'm saying?
So those committees, I never really quite understand those committees work. So do committees have also kind of a regular meetings?
Oh, every month, yes.
Yeah, every month.
Yeah.
But I only see like an HOA board meeting.
Because they will not allow you to attend a committee meeting. And that's what I'm talking about.
I see.
It needs to be open and held just like a board meeting. So that if you have a problem with landscaping, you go to the landscaping meeting, you sit, you watch the meeting, they talk about their agenda, and then you get up and say, I have this problem. And they can help you to solve it. If they don't help you to solve it, then you should go to the big board meeting. It's kind of like the military, you have a chain of command. And right now we don't have a chain of command.